Thank you for being out tonight during a cost of living crisis. I'm so grateful you're here, but let's be honest, you buying a ticket, a little fiscally irresponsible. You could have bought food. You could have bought a big bag of cheese for the same price. Or a little bag of ketamine. You had options, but you chose me. I'm very grateful. We have a cost of living crisis, and if you ask anyone over 70, they'll tell you it's because no one wants to work anymore. That's the problem. That's the problem with your generation. No one wants to work anymore. Back in my day, I'd work every day for a year, and you know what they paid me? $1. And I took that $1 and I bought a house and I bought an investment property and I put the other 87 cents in the bank. But no one wants to... Yeah, we don't want to work anymore because we don't get the same reward. That's why we choose lifestyle jobs like comedy and entertainment and OnlyFans. Just lifestyle. Now, does anyone not know OnlyFans? Okay, some guys pretending they don't know OnlyFans. All right. OnlyFans is the adult entertainment industry, but work from home. It's a good system, right? I'm very sex worker positive. I think it's a good system because these people get to choose their hours. They get to do it in the comfort of their own home with whoever they want, with whatever vegetables they have lying around. That's a good system. But 20 years ago, if you wanted to be in the porn industry, you'd have to go to Los Angeles and meet some pimp with a handlebar mustache, go to some dodgy house where there's 20 guys all oiled up and riddled with chlamydia, and you'd have to have sex with them all at once, right? But our generation, we don't do that. And you know why? Because no one wants to work anymore. That's the problem. With your generation, I used to do all the men for $1. I'm not above it, by the way, right? A few months ago, someone on Facebook hit me up and said, hey, can you send me a photo of your feet? And I'm like, that's not really my thing. They said $500. I'm like, maybe it's my thing. I'm open to it. But I don't judge my life based on material possessions, mainly because I don't really have access to them. I judge my life based on achievements and milestones. Like, I don't mean to brag, but a little while ago, I hit the big time. I married an American, which is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, according to Americans. They are so excited for me. Like, wow, you married an American. Your parents must be so proud. I'm like, they're a little concerned. They're worried about me. No, you could be an American now. Don't you want to be an American? Pew, pew, pew. I'm like, calm down. Okay, I don't have the confidence to be an American. I'm not qualified. Americans are confident people. Like, I was in America and I wanted to go to some fine dining restaurant, so I turned up at Pizza Hut. And a guy was coming outside and he held the door open for me. He said, after you, big dog. I'm 5'7". I've never been called big dog in my life. I'm like, me? He's like, yeah, come on through, big dog. I'm like, stop it. No, it's not me. I'm a little dog. Stop it. Get out of here. I'm not even a big... I don't even have a tail. Stop it. He's like, come on through. And he gave me a fist bump. And that confidence was contagious. All of a sudden, I felt that American confidence. And I felt 6 foot tall. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I am a big dog. I felt so confident. I walked into that Pizza Hut. I bought a family meal. That's how excited I was. My father-in-law was so pumped for me when I married his daughter. As a wedding gift, he bought me a Costco membership. That's a dowry in the state of Kentucky. It's like, that's a Costco membership. You can go to any Costco around the world. I'm like, why would I go to Costco when I'm overseas? You can get the best bagels in Costco. You got to buy 3,000, but they're the best bagels. You can get the best red wine from Italy in Costco. It's from a region in Italy called Kirkland. Kirkland, Italy. Best Italian wines. You can get a coffin in Costco. When I die, I want you to put me in that coffin, leave me in Costco, because that's my idea of heaven, amen. I'm like, mate, wait till you discover Aldi. You're going to have a great time. No membership needed. I've tried to live in America. It's hard to get onto the American system, right? They're very protective of their system. I went to get a phone number, asked for a SIM card, and they said, Sir, you can't get an American phone number until you have an American bank account. I'm like, no worries. So I went to the most American bank possible. I went to Bank of America. And they said, Sir, you can't get an American bank account until you have a social security number first. I'm like, no worries. Went to the social security office. They're like, Sir, you can't get a social security number until you have an American phone number. I'm like, oh, I'm going to kill everyone. So I went to Walmart, bought a gun, no documents needed. Very easy. Americans also don't expect me when they hear Australian man. They think like alpha man, right? They think like Hugh Jackman and Chris Hemsworth and the dad from Bluey. Just proper alpha dogs. Now, I don't want to shock anyone, but I am not an alpha male. Don't argue. I'm not an alpha male, but I know how to find one. If you ever need an alpha male for any reason, it's very easy. All you have to do is find like an extension lead or a cable or a cord. And all you have to do is start to try to coil it. And what will happen is an alpha male will appear out of nowhere and tell you you're doing it wrong. That's not how you bloody coil it, mate. You've got to let the cable do the work. You follow that. If you really want to piss them off, you start doing it around your elbow. They'll have a conniption like, that's not how you bloody do it, mate. You've got to wreck the cable. And they turn into a car. I don't feel the need to be an alpha male, by the way. I feel like I've fulfilled my biological duty because a few months ago, my wonderful wife, Lucy, gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. Cannot wait to find out who the father is. I am so excited. I'm pretty sure it's me because, statistically speaking, millennials have less affairs than other generations. Isn't that cool? I don't think it's an ethical thing. I think we just delete the apps and we don't know where to meet people. That's... Honestly, if my wife has an affair, it's going to have to be on Facebook Marketplace. Like, she buys another couch, I'll get suspicious. If you have an affair on Facebook Marketplace, you don't even have to change the messages. You could just be like, still available? Someone already came. That's so easy. I also think, older generations are looking at us millennials not having affairs and they're just thinking, oh, no one wants to work anymore. That's the problem. They're not getting out there. The other reason that my wife and I don't have affairs, I think, is because we're dorks and no one really hits on us. Like a big night out for us is staying at home, playing Uno. And a really big night is we play Uno Flip. Oh, have you heard of Uno Flip? It's Uno on one side of the cards, then you flip them. Completely different game of Uno on the back. And you just spend the whole night flipping back and forth. Damn. That's the closest thing to swinging we'll ever get. That is the speed we're at. Here's an example of my wife and I being dorks. We were on our honeymoon in Greece. We went down to the beach and Lucy put on a adorable bikini and went for a swim. I stayed on the shore to protect my sandcastles. And as she's swimming in the crystal clear Greek waters, I got worried because I'm like, no, these Greek Adonises with their beach bods are going to hit on her. I can't compete with that. They're going to steal her away from me. And as she's swimming, looking so gorgeous, she just looks at me and goes, hey, babe, I'm a seal. I'm like, our marriage is safe. We're going to be okay. That was the night she got pregnant, I think. I love SeaWorld. What can I say? I'm very proud of her for going through pregnancy, by the way. Oh my goodness, it made me realise how much I've underappreciated mothers. Now, I don't mean to pander, but let's be honest, Mother's Day and Father's Day should not be equal things. Mother's Day is like you grew a whole human inside yourself and squeezed it into existence. Father's Day is like, and you were very helpful too. Mother's Day should be the full day. Father's Day, 7 to 10 minutes max. No longer than it took to become a father. Maybe 20 to 30 for some of you. I don't know what stamina you're working with. It's an exciting time having a kid. A lot of people are excited to ask you questions like, oh my God, do you know what you're having? Do you know what you're having? I'm like, yeah, financial burden. Oh my God, it's insane. Like, I read that by the time a kid is 18, they'll cost you $1 million. Now, Lucy and I did the budget. We got to cut him off at 4. We're not getting that far. Like, I don't know if I can provide for him. Here's what I think, right? If you ever read an autobiography of a great person in history, it always starts the same. Like, we didn't have much growing up. That's what I can provide for him. A rags to riches story. Some adversity. It's crazy expensive. Even a babysitter, some of them are $40 an hour. You go out for 4 hours, that's $160. That's insane, right? I'm trying to be thrifty. I'm looking up return flights to Adelaide, $70 on Jetstar. Perfect. I'll put him on the plane, have our night out, pick him up on the way through. He gets frequent flyer miles. That's his inheritance. That's how you got to do it. There's a lot of pressure on pregnant women as well. When Lucy was pregnant, all her girlfriends asked, babe, when you're in labour, are you going to have the epidural or are you going to have a natural birth? No, don't you want to have a natural birth? Like, ladies, if you want to have one, power to you, but don't put pressure on other women. You don't find out someone's going to the dentist and go, oh, you're going to have the painkillers or are you going to have a natural root canal? No, don't you want to feel connected to your tooth? Don't you want the full root canal experience? My wife requested the epidural the day she found out she was pregnant. She's like, you plug that thing in, leave it in there till he graduates high school. I want to buzz the whole way through. People give you advice as well. All my male friends, my proper, men friends, gave me a lot of man advice. They couldn't even say pregnancy terms, by the way. They couldn't say pregnant or labour or birth. They had to use man terms like, oh, so I heard Lucy's up the duff. She must be in the drop zone. How long till launch? Hey, we're not working on a spaceship. But their advice was like, mate, your responsibility as a dad is just to work. Work all day, every day, for the rest of your life. If you never see your family, that's ideal. I'm like, oh my God. My cool inner city hippie friends are the opposite. Like, just so wild about it. They're like, oh my God, Simon, birth's amazing. Have you got enough crystals? I'm like, yeah, I got enough crystals. How many? None. I think that's enough. No, birth's amazing. You got to get right up in there. It's so beautiful. You know what you should do? You know what would be amazing? You, when the baby's born, you should eat the placenta. I'm like, wait, why would I eat the placenta? It's full of nutrients. I'll have a muesli bar. I'm a vegetarian. I'm not going to get back into eating meat starting with a placenta. I'm going to try fish and work my way up to cannibalism. Let's all calm down. I learned a lot during the pregnancy on how to be a good partner. And I'd like to present all the lessons I learned in a little segment called Things Not to Say to Your Pregnant Wife. Hey, babe. When you're wearing a jumper that comes halfway down your pregnant belly, it makes you look like Winnie the Pooh. End of segment. That's everything I learned. That's all the lessons. Don't do that. So stupid. I thought it was cute. It was stupid. She got me back, though. A week after my son was born, I was up feeding him at 3 a.m. It was so dark, I was so tired that I stumbled into the wall and I smashed my toe and I broke it. And in the morning, Lucy was waking up, still recovering from the birth. And I said, babe, I broke my toe. And she looked at me like, good. Do it without the epidural. When you have a baby, they give you a lot of pamphlets. And I have a favourite. My favourite pamphlet when the baby was born that they gave us was 1 page. And all it said was, don't shake the baby. I read that, I'm like, what kind of monster would shake their baby? And at 3 a.m, after breaking my toe, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I got that pamphlet. That was very, very useful. So much pressure on parents to make the right decisions. When you have a baby, you have to decide what diapers you're going to use. You're going to use disposable diapers, you're going to use cloth diapers. I did the research. If you use disposable diapers, you're killing the environment. But if you use cloth diapers, you want to kill yourself. That's the research. I'm a millennial. I will do anything to combat climate change unless that thing is a little bit inconvenient. That's it. I realise that having a kid is the worst thing I can do for the environment. That's why I'm a vegetarian, to offset my carbon emissions. If we have a second kid, I'll have to become vegan. If we have a third kid, I'll have to eat the first one. I don't know. I'm trying to help. There's a lot of pressure. Medical pressure. Am I doing everything right for my child? I asked the doctor, how do I know if my son has a peanut allergy? She said, oh, you give him peanut butter. I'm like, what if he dies? She's like, well, then he's got an allergy. I'm like, surely there's a better system! You want the best education for your child. You want to get them ready for college when they're 6 months old. So you want the best daycare. There's two different kinds of daycare. There's the boutique fancy daycare. You walk in, there's a cloud of mist. And there the educator is there. And they're wearing nothing but 100% cotton. And they're just like, the children will learn 8 languages and all be lawyers by Friday. And you're like, yes, that's what I want. You look at the price and go, I'll just go to the local state one, that's fine. You go, what have you guys got? They're like, we have a wet sand pit and a dry sand pit. You're like, oh, great. What do the kids eat for lunch? Whatever they find in the wet sand pit. You're like, that's where he's going. So much pressure to do the right style of parenting. Like, the older generations, the greatest generation, they had a very hands-off approach to parenting, right? They were like, have a bunch of kids, wish them all the best. That was their approach. The greatest generation, my grandparents, they came up with the song 5 Little Ducks. You know that song? Yeah. 5 little ducks went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck went quack, 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 and only 4 little ducks came back. Just so you know, she didn't go out looking. She had 4 ducks now. Then it gets to 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, if your kid falls asleep before that song is finished, it's just a horror story about a woman losing her family. Very hands-off, the older generations. That's why the baby boomers became helicopter parents. They did the opposite, right? They were like, no, we're going to do everything for our child. We're just going to make sure that they're never hurt, never injured, they don't experience any adversity. I'm going to do everything for them, and they're going to build no coping mechanisms so they have to deal with that in therapy in 30 years. That's what we're going to do. That's why my generation, we're trying to work it out. And I looked at what the experts are saying on TikTok, and that's where they are. They said the best kind of parenting is gentle parenting. That's what we're doing now. Gentle parenting. You never raise your voice. Even if the child is only 6 months, right? You never raise your voice. Even if they don't have language yet, you don't touch them without their consent. No? If they're in trouble, you just blow them to safety. Just... They don't understand your words, but you just use a gentle tone. Just go, hey there, fella. Hey there, Mum and I would appreciate if you went the fuck to bed. That's gentle parenting. My friend asked me, what style of parenting am I going to use? I'm like, oh, a bit of everything. He's like, really? Would you ever hit your kids? I'm like, oh, dude, that is up to them. If they just behave, then no. When you're having your first kid, other parents like to terrify you. And what they'll do is they will say 800 horrible things about being a parent, and then at the end, as they're walking off, just sort of one soft, general positive thing. Like, oh, first kid, say goodbye to sleep, mate. No, even when they're older, you're picking them up from parties, worrying about them all night. You're not going to have any money anymore. Life is expensive. Oh, my God. Do you know what concert tickets are? Oh, and forget your job. You're not going to have any more career ambition. No, there is no way forward for you. You're going to be tired and broke and sad and miserable for every day for the rest of your life until you die. Best thing you ever do, though. Best thing. You're going to love it. It's a joy. Now I appreciate, now that I have a kid, I don't have a lot of time. But to be fair, I'm a self-employed millennial. Before I had a kid, I had too much time. Before I had a kid, the majority of my day was spent unsubscribing to emails. That was a big day. That's a lot of work, unsubscribing to an email. You click it. It goes, are you sure you want to unsubscribe? And you're like, yes. Well, do you want to manage your preferences? I guess so. Well, you got to log in. Well, I've got my password. Well, you got to reset your password. All right. We've sent you an email. That's the opposite of what I wanted to happen. You open the email, they're like, here's a verification code. I'm like, what do I do with that? They're like, take it outside. What? Take it outside. There's a man in a robe with a beard. Tell him the verification code and he will give you the sword of destiny. Take the sword of destiny to the tallest mountain and slay the troll. And the blood of the troll will seep down the hilt. Stand on the summit and scream your verification code into the air. And an angel will descend from a cloud. His name is Alessandro. He will wrap his wings around you and he will hold you close and kiss you passionately and say, are you sure you want to unsubscribe? You'll be like, Alessandro, I don't know how you got my email in the first place. I used to be the guy who opened every email. You know, there's two kinds of people. People with a clean inbox and people with that little red square with 7,000 unread emails. I used to be the first guy because I'd open every email. I'd enjoy every email because every email had a bit of personality. Like if you got a free trial for a streaming service, I like that email because it's a very seductive email. They write it to be sexy, don't they? They're like, hey, big guy, do you want a free trial for a streaming service? I'm like, yeah, I'd love a free trial. What's your credit card? I thought you said it was free. I just want to look at it. Send me a photo. Seductive email. I really like a security alert email. Those are so funny, aren't they? They're so neurotic. You know when you log into an account from a different browser and this security alert email screams into your inbox in such a panic like, oh my God! What's wrong? Someone just logged into your account! Oh my God, from where? From your house! I'm in my house. Are they still there? No, it's just me. They used your laptop. I'm on my laptop. And your password. I'm pretty sure it's me. Are you sure? I'm sure. Here are 9 photos. Tell me which ones are traffic lights. My house is chaos now with a baby. And we have a dog. A few years ago, we took a mortgage out on a cavoodle. If you don't know, a cavoodle is a cross between a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel and a bucket of cash. It is a fancy dog. Oh my goodness, we need 3 bowls. We need food, still, and sparkling. It's a fancy dog. Does anyone else have a cavoodle? Yeah? What did you pay for it? 3,000, that's pretty good, right? They can go for like $6,000, these dogs. And they're very like affectionate, but also needy. So when we had our baby, my dog was jealous and he was constantly barking. So my son's like crawling into the bedroom, my dog's barking. So I tried the spray bottle, spray water on them for a bit of discipline. That didn't work, he was just loud and wet. My son gets into the bedside table drawers. I'm like trying to stop him, the dog's still barking. So I tried the can of air, you spray air in their face. Great, now he just looks like he's in a Mariah Carey video clip. Hair blowing in the breeze. Then my son gets into my wife's drawer and I'm like, no, that's Mum's toy, don't break that. That would put a lot of pressure on Dad. The dog's still barking, so I'm like feeding him cheese. That's the only thing that stops him from barking, just cheese. Then the vet tells me off and says, you can't give the dog that much cheese. I'm like, lady, it's either cheese or chocolate, but that dog has to stop. But the vet tried to tell me, like, it's our fault for not training the dog before the baby arrived. The vet told me, before the baby gets here, take the dog for a walk with the empty stroller so he gets used to the idea of the baby. Yeah, try walking around the neighborhood with a dog and an empty stroller as people walk past going like, oh. They're not going to let me have a baby after that. This was the craziest day we had. I was changing my son's diaper and the dog's barking and I'm just ignoring the dog and focusing on my son, being in the moment. And as that was happening, the dog jumped onto the table and ate a diaper whole. And I freak out. I call the vet. I'm like, what do I do? Vet's like, oh, yeah, that's going to absorb him from the inside out. I'm like, no! So I like race to the vet. I'm holding my baby. And then as soon as we get to the vet, they immediately induce vomiting. Not the dog. I just looked at the bill. I'm like, whoa. They pump the dog's stomach. They pull the whole diaper out. I was so relieved. We got in there just in time. It cost $600. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter. I love my family. I love my dog. It's all good. And as soon as we got home, I opened the door. The dog bolted back in, jumped back on the table, and ate a second diaper! So if anyone would like to buy a dog for $1,200 for a cavoodle, that's a bargain. But I don't judge my life based on money or material things. I judge it based on achievements. And I'm proud to say, a few months ago, I stopped taking antidepressants. And I am back on them because my son vomited on my favorite shirt and I cried. So I'm back on them. Well, I came off because when I had my son, I'm like, I want him to know the real me. And then I thought, nah. I want him to know the put-together me. You don't do that with any other illness, do you? Like, you don't hear people with diabetes going, no, I don't take insulin. I just want to be the real me. You know, dead. I know why I'm on antidepressants, by the way. It's because my parents are both 5'6". That's the main reason. But throughout my childhood, my parents encouraged me to play basketball 3 times a week for 10 years, dreaming of being in the NBA when they knew full well I would never grow tall enough to open the freezer without standing on a chair. That is not fair on a child. Baby boomers loved saying things like, you could do anything you set your mind to. Really? Grow another foot and turn black? I don't think so, Mum. If my son ever picks up a basketball, I will kick it out of his hands. I'll be like, follow your realistic dreams. Yes, you can be in the Olympics, but it's gonna have to be admin. It's not gonna be the good stuff. Now I realise that I'm up here complaining about one dog and one baby. Would anyone else like to vent? Who's got like 3 or 4 kids? Anyone got, yeah, how many?
I've got 4.
4 kids? Can we beat 4 kids? You got 6 kids? Some stepkids?
No, full blood.
Full blood, like we're talking about muggles or something. Full blood. The chosen one. Voldemort, not Harry. You have 6 kids. So well, give a round of applause. 6 kids. I appreciate you, Gabby. I'm sure you're listening to me, one dog or one baby are like, rookie numbers. I appreciate it. All right. I'm going to tell you about the 2 biggest life-changing moments I've ever experienced. The first was when my son was born. Not exactly when he was born. It was a few moments after. So my wife, Lucy, gave that last push, and out came that purple, swollen alien thing. And if you've never seen a newborn for the first time, you're looking at it like, are they going to fix that? Like, they've got like a cone head and a flat face, and they're all purple. It's so weird, right? And then, no, it's not what they look like in the pamphlet. So the doctor's holding my beautiful son and turns to me and says, Simon, would you like to cut the umbilical cord? I'm like, yes, absolutely. I was so excited. This is my duty as a dad. And they give me the little scissors and I grab that string of calamari and I cut the umbilical cord. And the moment that I did, an alpha male appeared. He's like, that's not how you hold the cord, mate. You gotta let the cable do the work. Just find the loop. The second biggest life-changing moment happened a few weeks later. And it was pretty chaotic. Having a kid is, it's full of sleep deprivation. Now, you've heard this before from parents. If you've never experienced the sleep deprivation of a kid, it's like when you walk into a room, you go, oh, what did I come in here for? It's like that. But you walk into a room, you go, oh, why the fuck did I have kids? That is the feeling, like you're constantly just having micro naps because you never get a full sleep. You go to the fridge, have a micro nap, open the fridge, have a micro nap, shut the fridge, you're covered in cottage cheese, you don't know how it got there. right? It's just really intense. And the reason it happens, it's not just because the baby wakes up and is crying, it's because you never fully get to sleep because you're unsure of what the right baby sounds are, right? They don't sleep like adults do with... This is how babies sound. Oh, thank God, right? Oh my goodness, right? You're just constantly just poking them to make sure they're... Is it wiggling? Yes, great, right? It's really intense. So you're sleep deprived. I had stopped taking antidepressants. The dog was going crazy. I was just overwhelmed. And I was getting to the point where I was about to have a breakdown. But before I had the breakdown, I checked my emails. So it helps calm me down. And I opened an email and it was offering me some work in Sydney. And I just thought, oh yeah, I could sleep on the plane. I could sleep at the hotel. I'll sleep on the plane on the way back. This is perfect. I'll ask my wife. So I turned to Lucy and I used some gentle husbanding. And I said, please let me go. I'll do anything. Let me go. I'll do all the cooking. I'll do all the cleaning. I'll give birth to the next baby, please. And Lucy was amazing. She said, of course, you've been awesome. You can have that night. Just make sure you book the latest flight possible to get to work on time. I'm like, absolutely, no problem. The day comes along, I'm cleaning the house, I'm locking the diapers up, I'm doing everything I need to do to keep it safe, and I call an Uber to get to my flight. And the Uber cancels. I'm like, oh, that's not good. The next one cancels. I'm like, what are they doing? Are they driving past, seeing me with vomit on my shirt, going, yeah, I'm not picking him up. Finally, the Uber comes. I'm late now. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, no, I'm going to miss my flight. If I miss my flight, there's no point of going. I'm not going to get my sleep. I finally get to the airport. The line of security's so long. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm on edge. I'm worried my gate's going to close. I go through. I forgot to take my laptop out. They make me go around again. I'm panicking now. My gate's about to shut. I get through security again. And then a security guard comes up to me. He's like, excuse me, mate, we're just doing the random bomb test. If you can just come over here. And I was so sleep deprived and so anxious that I said no. And I just ran. My toe was broken, so I'm limping, right? And I finally get to the gate, and the woman's shutting the gate. And I'm like, no, please let me in. She goes, sorry, the gate's closed. I'm like, it's open. She goes, it's basically closed, but it's literally open. No, I'm sorry, it's shut. We can't let you on. I'm like, I have a child. She's like, with you? I'm like, no, I'm trying to escape. She was like, all right, hurry up. Come on, get in. Thank you, lady. I run onto the plane. I run down the aisle. I find my seat. I sit down, and I am so relieved. I was so happy. I was about to have my sleep. And as my eyes start to shut, I see walk onto the plane 3 police officers. Now, some people ask me after the shows, hey, is that story true? Yep. So I'm watching these 3 cops come down the aisle, and I'm freaking out. I'm starting to sweat and shake because I've never been in trouble before, right? I'm a goody two-shoes. I don't know where that expression comes from. I've never heard of a naughty no-shoes. But I used to be a Boy Scout. I was a Boy Scout even for the Boy Scouts. Like on Scout camp, I saw some boys smoking, and I told the camp leader. And they gave me a badge with a picture of a rat. That's how much of a Boy Scout I am. I used to be an altar boy for the Catholic Church, right? I did everything for the church. I vacuumed, I dusted, I burned incriminating documents, whatever they needed. I saw some other altar boys drinking the sacramental wine. I'm like, hey, that's the worst thing you could do in the Catholic Church. So anyway, I'm on the plane. And the cops are coming down the aisle, and I'm panicking. And the cop up the front has his phone out, and he's showing people down the aisle, have you seen this man? Have you seen this man? Have you seen this man? Finally gets to me, shoves the phone in my face. He says, have you seen this man? And it is a grainy security footage photo of my face. So I have to do my best Oscar-winning performance, like, no. Very handsome, but no. And the cop behind him, she had to say, Dale, that's him. I'm like, great, Sherlock's on board. They grab me from my seat, they grab my bag, they pull me off the flight, they take me to the police station at the airport and put me in an interrogation room. And it's just like you imagine. It's white and it has like the mirror on the side and the 3 cops are standing over me. And you know 2 of these cops. The first cop is good cop, right? Very nice guys. Like, don't worry, mate, we'll get it all sorted out. The second cop, she was bad cop. Oh, she looked at me like, you're fucked. She had a big tattoo on her neck and she just, like, I could read her face. It just said, I killed my ex-husband. And I got away with it. But the third cop was the worst cop I've ever met. I'm not sure if you've ever come across a cop like this. I hope you never do. This cop was disappointed dad cop. Oh, bald head, big arms and a pot belly, hand on his hip like, mate, I've done some dumb things in my life. That's how you know an alpha male in Australia. They speak from the gut. Life. I'm a beta male. I speak out of my nose like, g'day, you having a good night? Yeah, sound like a bird. Yeah, alpha males in Australia, life. I've done some dumb things in my life, but that's the dumbest thing you could have done. I could have you banned from every airport for the next 5 years. I could have you charged and you will be convicted because we have you on camera and you will not be allowed into other countries for the rest of your life. And I just start crying. I feel so miserable. I feel so guilty. They take my bag, my keys, my wallet, my phone. They leave me in the interrogation room alone for 5 hours without a break, without a phone call, with no food. And I just feel terrified, but I also just feel ashamed. Like, what have I done? I've just become a dad. What kind of role model am I? I'm about to be charged as a terrorist. This is horrible. I can't believe I've done this. Like, how did I get to this stage? I'm not going to be allowed to go overseas, right? I won't be able to use my Costco membership to its full potential. My son's American. What if he moves there? I just feel absolutely ashamed. And after 5 hours, disappointed dad cop comes back in by himself. And I was a bit worried he might like take his belt off or something. I don't know. He's going to punish me. I don't know. But he gave me my bag back, my keys, my wallet, my phone. And he said, we all do dumb things when we're new parents. And I think, oh, they must have broken into my phone and seen 7,000 photos of me with my newborn baby. So we've had a discussion here at the station. We've decided that you're quite white. So clearly not a threat. So we're going to let you off with a fine, just as long as you don't do anything stupid like that again. And I was crying, and I stood up, and I gave him a hug, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. He's like, it's all right, mate. I'm like, I'm really sorry, Dad. He's like, what? I'm like, never mind. And that was the second biggest life-changing moment for me, because 3 very important things happened in that interrogation room. The first was that I had a very positive male role model to look up to. The second was that I realized I need to look after myself to be able to look after other people. If I take care of my own mental health, my own sleep, my own exercise, then I'll be in a good state to look after my family. And the third thing that happened in that interrogation room was that I had the best sleep that I've ever had in my life. That's the show. Thank you very much, Melbourne. Thank you for coming out. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's not free. Can you go to the link and put some money in? Like, we had to pay for the lights and this audience. They're actors. They didn't like this. I'll leave you on this. I'm very grateful you're here. I've been doing comedy a while now. When I started comedy, I promised my parents that I would make enough money from being a stand-up comedian to one day pay off their mortgage. And I'm so glad I'm doing this tonight because today is officially the day that I've given up trying. I'm Simon Taylor, you're amazing. Thank you. Have a great night. Peace. Get home safe.